A NoMoreStinkyMonkeys.com production. Yesterday I had a tremendous night at the Tramps Like Us 25th anniversary show at the Stone Pony in Asbury Park, New Jersey. They always put on a stellar show, but there were so many surprises last night that for a veteran fan like myself, it was a special treat. First, they had to replace their drummer of 23 years, Rudy Feinauer, last year with their original drummer, an animal named Marty. And while I thought Rudy was better than Max Weinberg, this Marty guy might be better than Rudy. The concussion from his bass drum felt like a boxing glove jabbing you in the chest from across the room, and the speed he played with was incredible. They finished off a long version of Prove It All Night with a finish that nearly knocked out the crowd. We could not dance, jump, or wave our hands fast enough to keep up. The guy's like 50 years old, so what was he like at 25? They brought out Tom Funky Chicken King, who was an incredible guitarist and the former bass player for the band. At one point, he came out with a 12-string acoustic guitar for a beautiful introduction to the river. But when I heard him during the sound check, while he was waiting to play, he played the opening chords Emerson, Lake and Palmer's In the Beginning perfectly. He left the band many years ago and moved to North Carolina, but they got to bring him back for more guest gigs. The original sax man, Brian Sears, drove all the way from Montreal and pushed through some heavy notes throughout the night, and Alan Golub, the original keyboard player and the guy who named the band, was tremendous on Growing Up. From the time they were introduced during the night, they would come back intermittently, and then for about the last hour of the show, all 8 members played together. Luckily, the Pony stage was able to hold them all pretty comfortably, and the wall of sound that emerged was something to behold. If Bruce Springsteen plays Rosalita at a 10, Tramps plays it normally at 11. Well, last night they played it faster and better because of their new drummer, and it was at a 12. The crowd exploded for the finale, and I'd estimate all 300 people had their hands shaking like a man getting sentenced to jail. As for the set list, there was none. They played from a bunch of requests they got earlier, and ones handed to them last night. Since everyone there seemed to be a hardcore fan, Mark Solori and the boys pulled out some really great chestnuts like Be True, Lost in the Flood, Thundercrack, and the 1975 tour favorite, which I had never heard before, called Mountain of Love. The point when the crowd just completely went nuts was on the two-for of Badlands and Out in the Street, which always plays well together. Bandleader Mark extended the musical part where the crowd goes, whoa, 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 response, but instead of cutting it out after a minute or so, he let it play out, as the crowd had lungs to work with. You could see the former members get a kick out of the crowd response, like coming back to a tree you planted 25 years ago and marveling at how well it's grown. Probably the best anniversary party I ever attended. I laughed when Mark yelled into the microphone, "Hey, 5 Banana Freddy, how you doing?" You get 5 bananas, Mark, but you knew that from the Predator.